Dr. Lisa Grant rubbed her tired eyes as she walked down the hospital hallway. The clock on the wall showed 3:47 a.m. Another long night shift was almost over at Chicago General Hospital. She had been working these late hours for 3 years now, and her body still struggled to adjust to the strange schedule. The emergency room had been quiet for the past hour, which was unusual for a Friday night. Lisa used the time to catch up on paperwork and check on her patients. She was reviewing a case file when the hospital's communication system crackled to life with an alert she had never heard before. All senior medical staff report to conference. Room A immediately. Priority 1 emergency. Lisa frowned. Priority 1 alerts were rare, usually reserved for major disasters or terrorist attacks. She quickly made her way to the conference room, where she found Dr. Robert Hayes, the hospital director, along with several other senior doctors and 2 people in dark suits who looked like government agents. "Thank you all for coming," Dr. Hayes said, his voice tense. "What I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but I need you to listen carefully." One of the suited men stepped forward. "I'm Agent Daniel Kim from the Department of Defense. 3 hours ago, we received a communication from space. Not from any Earth satellite or space station, but from something else entirely." The room fell, silent. Lisa felt her heart racing. First contact with aliens had always been theoretical, something discussed in science fiction movies and late-night documentaries. Agent Kim continued, "The message was translated by our best linguists and computer systems. It's a request for medical assistance from something called the Galactic Medical Coalition. They're asking for help with a disease that's killing millions of people on worlds far from Earth." Dr. Hayes pulled up a holographic display that showed a star map with several red dots scattered across it. "These are the affected systems. The disease has already wiped out entire colonies, and their best doctors can't stop it." Lisa raised her hand. "Why are they asking us? If they have space travel and advanced technology, surely their medicine is better than ours." The second agent, a woman with short gray hair, answered, "That's exactly what makes this interesting. According to their message, they've tried everything their science can offer. Now they want to try something different. They specifically requested human doctors because our medical approach is, in their words, unpredictable and adaptive. They want us because we're primitive," Dr. Hayes said with a slight smile. "Apparently, our willingness to try crazy ideas and work with limited information is exactly what they need." The gray-haired agent nodded. "We need to send a small medical team. The aliens will provide transportation and all necessary equipment. The mission could last several months, and there's no guarantee of success or safe return." Lisa felt a strange excitement building in her chest. This was the opportunity of a lifetime, something that would change everything she thought she knew about medicine in the universe. "I volunteer," she said without hesitation. Dr. Hayes looked surprised. "Lisa, you should think about this carefully. We don't know what we're dealing with out there." "That's exactly why I want to go," Lisa replied. "I became a doctor to help people, and now there are people dying across the galaxy who need help. How can I say no to that?" 2 days later, Lisa found herself standing in a field outside Chicago, watching as a massive ship descended from the clouds. The vessel was unlike anything she had ever seen, with smooth curves and a surface that seemed to shift colors in the sunlight. A ramp extended from the ship, and 3 figures walked down to meet the human delegation. Lisa's breath caught in her throat as she got her first look at alien beings. They were tall and elegant, with pale blue skin and large eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. The leader of the aliens stepped forward and spoke in perfect English. "I am Captain Zara Veltan of the Altarian Medical Fleet. We are grateful that Earth has agreed to help us." Lisa was part of a team of 5 human doctors selected for the mission. As they boarded the alien ship, she felt like she was stepping into a dream. The interior was filled with technology she couldn't begin to understand, but she noticed that the aliens had prepared a section of the ship with equipment similar to what she was used to working with. Captain Zara led them to a briefing room where holographic displays showed images of the affected worlds. "The plague began 6 months ago on the Outer Rim colonies," she explained. "It spreads quickly and seems to adapt to whatever treatment we apply. Our best medical minds are baffled." Lisa studied the images of the sick aliens. Their symptoms were unlike anything in human medicine, but there was something about the way the disease progressed that reminded her of cases she had seen before. "Has anyone considered that this might not be a natural disease?" she asked. The alien captain's large eyes widened. "What do you mean?" "On Earth, we've learned to look for patterns that don't fit normal biology. Sometimes diseases are created artificially, either by accident or on purpose. The way this plague adapts so quickly to your treatments suggests it might be engineered." The other aliens in the room exchanged glances. One of them, a tall being with silvery skin, spoke up. "We have considered this possibility, but our scans show only biological components." Lisa nodded. "That's what I'd expect to see if someone was trying to hide the artificial parts. We might need to look deeper, using techniques that your advanced scanners might miss because they're too sophisticated." The journey to the affected world took 3 days. During that time, Lisa worked with the alien medical team to understand their technology and share her knowledge of human diagnostic techniques. She was amazed by their advanced equipment, but she also noticed that they relied heavily on their machines to provide answers. "On Earth, we often have to work with broken equipment or incomplete information," she explained to Dr. Keth Morvain, the ship's chief medical officer. "We've learned to trust our instincts and try multiple approaches when the obvious ones don't work." When they finally arrived at Kepler Prime, Lisa was shocked by what she saw. The planet's main city was filled with sick and dying aliens, and the medical facilities were overwhelmed. The local doctors looked exhausted and defeated. Lisa rolled up her sleeves and got to work. She had no idea that this moment would be the beginning of a journey that would make her a legend across the galaxy. All she knew was that people were dying, and she had to find a way to help them. As she examined her first alien patient, using a combination of human intuition and alien technology, Lisa Grant began the work that would change the course of galactic medicine forever. Lisa spent her first week on Kepler Prime studying the plague victims with growing confusion. Every test she ran gave her strange results that didn't make sense according to normal medical science. The alien doctors had been right about one thing. This disease was unlike anything she had ever seen. The plague attacked its victims in waves. First came fever and weakness, then strange marks appeared on the skin that looked almost like tiny circuit patterns. Finally, the victims would fall into a coma and die within days. What puzzled Lisa most was how the disease seemed to learn from each treatment attempt. "Dr. Grant, we've tried this approach 17 times, said Dr. Keith Morvain, showing her charts on his advanced computer system. "Each time the plague adapts and becomes resistant to our medicine." Lisa nodded, but she was thinking about something else. Back on Earth, she had dealt with drug-resistant bacteria that evolved quickly, but this was different. This disease was adapting too fast, almost like it was being controlled by something intelligent. She decided to try something the alien doctors hadn't considered. Instead of using their sophisticated scanners, she went back to basic human diagnostic tools. She used a simple magnifying glass to examine the skin marks more closely, and what she saw made her heart race. The marks weren't just random patterns. They looked like tiny metal wires mixed in with the organic tissue. Lisa called over Dr. Kane Mitchell, the human engineer who had come with their team. "Kane, look at this," she said, handing him the magnifying glass. "Tell me what you see." Kane studied the marks carefully. His face went pale. "Lisa, those look like nanoscale circuits. But that's impossible. How could biological and mechanical components be integrated like this?" "What if that's exactly what we're dealing with?" Lisa said. "What if this isn't just a disease but some kind of hybrid creation that's part biological and part mechanical?" The idea was so simple that it was brilliant. The alien doctors had been treating the plague as a purely biological problem, using their advanced biomedicine to fight it. But if the disease also had mechanical components, their treatments would only work on half of it. Lisa spent the next 2 days running tests with equipment borrowed from the ship's engineering section. She discovered tiny mechanical components throughout the infected tissue, so small that the alien medical scanners had missed them because they were programmed to look for biological threats. "This changes everything," she told Captain Zara during an emergency meeting. "Your medical teams have been fighting a war on only one front. The plague is fighting back because its mechanical parts are still active. Dr. Keth Morvain looked skeptical. Even if you're right, how do we treat something that's both biological and mechanical? Our medicine doesn't work that way. But human medicine does, Lisa said, with growing excitement. On Earth, we use medical devices inside the body all the time. Pacemakers, artificial joints, drug delivery systems. We're used to dealing with the interaction between biology and technology. Working with Kane, Lisa began developing a completely new treatment approach. They would use the alien biomedicine to fight the organic parts of the plague, while simultaneously deploying human-designed nanoscale machines to disable the mechanical components. The alien doctors were fascinated but worried. Dr. Grant, we appreciate your creativity, but this approach seems very dangerous. What if your mechanical solution damages the patient's natural biology? Lisa understood their concern. That's why we're going to test it on human subjects first. Our immune systems evolved on Earth, dealing with all kinds of harsh conditions. We might be better able to handle this kind of treatment. The first volunteer was Lisa herself. Despite protests from both human and alien colleagues, she insisted on being the primary test subject. I'm not asking anyone to take a risk I won't take myself, she said. The treatment process took place in the ship's medical bay, with both human and alien doctors monitoring every step. Lisa lay on the examination table as the hybrid medicine was injected into her bloodstream. The biomedicine would target the organic components of a sample plague culture they had introduced into her system, while the human-designed nanobots would seek out and disable the mechanical parts. For the first hour, nothing seemed to happen. Then the monitors began showing changes. The plague sample in Lisa's system was being destroyed, but not in the way they expected. Instead of just dying, it was being completely eliminated, as if it had never existed. It's working, Kane said, watching the readouts in amazement. The mechanical components were like the plague's nervous system. Once we disabled them, the biological parts couldn't function. Dr. Keth Morvain was studying the results with growing excitement. Dr. Grant, your immune system isn't just tolerating the treatment, it's actually helping it work better. The human immune response is enhancing both the biomedicine and the nanobots. The success with Lisa led to testing on other human volunteers, including Kane and 2 other members of their team. Each test confirmed the same result. Humans could not only survive the hybrid treatment, but their immune systems actually made it more effective. Within days, they had refined the treatment protocol and were ready to try it on alien patients. The first subject was a young Keplerian who had been given up for dead by the local doctors. Lisa personally supervised the treatment, adjusting the dosages based on the patient's different biology. The results were spectacular. Not only did the treatment cure the plague, but it also created immunity in the treated patient. For the first time since the plague had started, they had found a real solution. Word of the breakthrough spread quickly through the medical community. On Kepler Prime, alien doctors who had been skeptical of human medicine began requesting training in Lisa's hybrid approach. The treatment protocols were shared across the coalition's communication networks, reaching medical teams on dozens of worlds. Lisa found herself working 20-hour days, training alien medical teams and refining the treatment for different species. Each success built on the previous one, and she began to see patterns in how different alien biologies responded to the hybrid approach. The breakthrough moment came when she realized that human medical philosophy was the key to everything, while alien medicine had become highly specialized and dependent on advanced technology. Human doctors were trained to improvise, adapt, and combine different approaches when faced with unknown challenges. We're not better doctors than you, Lisa explained to a gathering of Kepler Prime's medical staff. But we're used to working with uncertainty. On Earth, we often have to treat patients without knowing exactly what's wrong with them. That experience taught us to try multiple approaches at once. As the plague was finally brought under control, Lisa received an invitation that would change her life forever. The Galactic Medical Assembly wanted her to present her findings to representatives from dozens of star systems. She would be the first human ever to address the galaxy's most prestigious medical organization. Standing in the recovered medical center on Kepler Prime, surrounded by patients who owed their lives to a treatment that combined the best of human and alien medicine, Lisa realized that her journey was just beginning. She had proven that human medicine had something valuable to offer the galaxy, and now she would have the chance to share that knowledge with civilizations across the stars. Lisa stood at the window of the transport ship watching as the planet Centaurus grew larger in front of them. The world was beautiful, with 3 moons and rings of light that sparkled like diamonds. But she felt nervous about what was waiting for her on the surface. The Galactic Medical Assembly was held only once every 5 years, and doctors from across the galaxy came to share their knowledge. Lisa would be the first human to ever speak at this gathering, and she knew that many of the alien doctors were not happy about it. Captain Zara had warned her during the journey. "The Viridian healers are the most respected medical experts in the galaxy," she said. "They have been practicing medicine for over 10,000 years. They will not be easy to convince." When Lisa arrived at the massive conference center, she was amazed by what she saw. Thousands of beings from dozens of different worlds filled the halls. Some looked almost human, while others were so different that she had trouble understanding how they could be alive at all. Dr. Alex Porter, another human doctor who had been studying alien medicine for 2 years, met her at the entrance. "Lisa, I'm so glad you're here," he said. "The whole galaxy is talking about what you did on Kepler Prime, but some of the older doctors are saying it was just luck." The main conference hall was enormous, with seats arranged in circles that rose up toward the ceiling. Lisa estimated there were at least 5,000 doctors present. When her name was announced, a strange silence fell over the crowd. Lisa walked to the center stage, where a translation device would allow every species to understand her words. She looked out at the sea of alien faces and took a deep breath. "My name is Dr. Lisa Grant," she began. 6 months ago, I was working night shifts at a hospital on Earth. I had never met an alien, never traveled beyond my own world, and never imagined I would be standing here today. Some of the alien doctors made sounds that the translator indicated were expressions of doubt or amusement. "I know what many of you are thinking," Lisa continued. "How can a doctor from a primitive world teach anything to civilizations that have been practicing medicine for thousands of years? The answer is simple. Sometimes being primitive is exactly what you need." She activated a holographic display that showed images from Kepler Prime before and after the treatment. The plague that was killing millions of people across 17 star systems was stopped not by advanced technology, but by combining simple human engineering with alien biomedicine. A tall, elegant being with golden skin stood up in the audience. Lisa recognized the distinctive appearance of a Viridian healer. "Dr. Grant, with respect, one success does not prove that human medicine has value. Our records show that your species has only recently discovered basic genetic medicine." Lisa nodded politely. "You're absolutely right. Human medicine is primitive compared to yours. But that's exactly why it worked. The plague was designed to defeat advanced medical systems. It couldn't adapt to our simple approach because it had never encountered anything like it." She changed the display to show the mechanical components they had found in the plague. "Your scanners missed these mechanical parts because they were too sophisticated. They were programmed to look for complex biological threats, not simple, mechanical ones." The Viridian healer looked interested despite himself. "Are you suggesting that advanced medicine has blind spots?" "I'm suggesting that different approaches can see different things," Lisa replied. "On Earth, we have a saying, when you only have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Your medicine is incredibly advanced, but it's specialized. Human medicine is less advanced, but it's more flexible." Over the next hour, Lisa presented case studies from her work on Kepler Prime. She showed how human diagnostic techniques had identified problems that alien scanners had missed, and how human treatment approaches had succeeded where advanced alien medicine had failed. But the real breakthrough came when she was challenged by Dr. Vex Thon Kalar, the chief medical officer of the crystalline entities. "Dr. Grant, your approach worked on one plague, but we have medical challenges that have existed for centuries. Can your primitive methods solve problems that our advanced science cannot?" Lisa smiled. "Would you like to find out?" Dr. Thon Kalar presented a case that had puzzled crystalline medicine for over 300 years. Members of their species were born with a genetic condition that caused their crystal structures to become unstable. The condition was fatal, and no treatment had ever worked because it operated on both the molecular and quantum levels simultaneously. Lisa studied the case for several minutes, asking questions that seemed basic to the alien doctors, but revealed aspects they had never considered. Finally, she proposed a solution that made the entire assembly gasp. "You've been trying to treat both levels at the same time with the same medicine," she said. "What if we treat them separately, but coordinate the timing so they work together?" Working with Dr. Alex Porter and several volunteer alien doctors, Lisa developed a new treatment protocol over the next 3 days. The approach used human surgical precision to address the molecular level problems, while alien quantum medicine handled the quantum level issues. The key was timing. The treatments had to be applied in a specific sequence to avoid interference. When they tested the treatment on a volunteer patient, the results were better than anyone had hoped. Not only did it cure the genetic condition, but it actually strengthened the patient's crystal structure beyond normal levels. The success created a sensation throughout the medical assembly. Doctors who had been skeptical of human medicine began requesting meetings with Lisa and Alex. They wanted to learn about human diagnostic techniques, treatment approaches, and medical philosophy. Lisa found herself working 18-hour days, conducting workshops and training sessions. She taught alien doctors how to use simple human tools like stethoscopes and magnifying glasses alongside their advanced equipment. More importantly, she taught them to think like human doctors, to question assumptions, try multiple approaches, and never give up on finding a solution. The breakthrough led to the establishment of the first human-alien medical exchange program. Alien doctors would come to Earth to study human medicine, while human doctors would travel to alien worlds to learn advanced techniques. Lisa and Alex were appointed as the program's first directors, but the real change was in how the galaxy thought about medicine. The rigid specialization that had dominated alien medical practice for millennia began to give way to a more flexible, adaptive approach. Medical schools across dozens of worlds began teaching human-style diagnostic techniques alongside their traditional methods. As the medical assembly came to an end, Lisa received dozens of invitations to visit other worlds and help solve medical problems that had seemed impossible. She realized that her journey from a night shift doctor in Chicago to a galactic medical innovator was far from over. Standing on the observation deck of the space station orbiting Centaurus, looking out at the stars, Lisa felt a deep sense of purpose. She had proven that human medicine had something valuable to offer the galaxy, but more importantly, she had shown that sometimes the best solutions come from combining different ways of thinking. The galaxy was vast, filled with countless civilizations and medical challenges. Lisa knew that there would always be new problems to solve, new approaches to try, and new ways to help people. She was ready for whatever came next, armed with the simple but powerful truth that had made her a legend. Sometimes being primitive was exactly what advanced civilizations needed. Lisa was teaching a group of young alien doctors on the medical station above Earth when the emergency alert came through. The peaceful atmosphere in the classroom was shattered by the sound of alarms and flashing red lights. Captain Zara's face appeared on the communication screen, her usually calm expression replaced by worry and fear. "Lisa, we need you immediately. The Draxan Empire has declared war on the medical coalition. They've attacked 3 medical stations and used biological weapons." Lisa felt her heart sink. For the past year, she had been focused on healing and teaching, building bridges between different species through medicine. The idea of war seemed impossible in a galaxy where medical cooperation had brought so many breakthroughs. "Why would they attack medical stations?" Lisa asked. "We're not military targets. They claim that the human-alien medical cooperation is a threat to galactic stability," Captain Zara replied. "They say that mixing different medical approaches will create dangerous new diseases that could destroy entire civilizations." Within hours, Lisa was aboard a coalition medical ship heading toward the war zone. The journey gave her time to learn about the Draxan Empire, a militaristic civilization that had always been suspicious of other species. They believed that each race should develop independently, without sharing knowledge or technology. Dr. Paul Harrison, a human military doctor, met Lisa when she arrived at the Coalition's main medical base. "Lisa, I'm glad you're here," he said. "The Draxans have deployed biological weapons that target specific species. Our traditional medical approaches aren't working." Lisa examined the first victims and was horrified by what she found. The Draxan weapons were designed to attack the unique biological features of each species. What killed an Altarian would leave a human unharmed, but another weapon would target human DNA while having no effect on other species. "This is evil," Lisa said, studying the test results. "They've created weapons that exploit the biological differences between species. It's the opposite of everything we've been working toward." The challenge was enormous. Lisa needed to develop treatments that could work on multiple species simultaneously, but under battlefield conditions with limited time and resources. Traditional medicine, both human and alien, required careful diagnosis and specialized treatment for each patient. Working with Dr. Harrison and a team of both human and alien doctors, Lisa began developing what she called universal medical protocols. These were treatment approaches that could be applied quickly in combat situations without detailed diagnosis. The key breakthrough came when she realized that the Draxan biological weapons all worked by attacking the genetic repair mechanisms that every living species possessed. If she could strengthen these natural repair systems, the victims' own bodies could fight off the weapons. "We need to think like battlefield medics," Lisa explained to her team. "On Earth, military doctors learn to treat multiple types of injuries quickly, without perfect information. We need to apply that same principle here." The first test of her universal protocols came during the Battle of Titan's Gate, where Coalition forces were trapped on a planet's surface under heavy Draxan attack. Hundreds of soldiers from 6 different species had been exposed to various biological weapons, and the traditional medical approach would have required separate treatment for each species. Lisa volunteered to lead the medical team into the active war zone. Despite the danger, she felt that her presence was necessary to coordinate the complex treatment protocols she had developed. The field hospital was set up in a cave system to protect it from enemy fire. Lisa worked for 18 straight hours, moving from patient to patient, applying her universal treatments while explosions echoed outside. The combination of human battlefield medicine techniques and alien biotechnology proved incredibly effective. During the battle, Lisa performed the first successful cross-species organ transplant under combat conditions. A wounded Altarian soldier needed a kidney replacement, but no Altarian donors were available. Using her biomechanical bridging technology, Lisa was able to adapt a human kidney to work in the Altarian's different biology. The operation was performed in a cave with enemy weapons firing overhead, using portable equipment that had been designed for field use. Other doctors said it was impossible, but Lisa's experience with hybrid biological mechanical systems made her confident it could work. The transplant was successful, and the soldier survived. More importantly, the success proved that Lisa's universal medical approaches could work under the worst possible conditions. Word of the achievement spread throughout the coalition forces, boosting morale and confidence. As the war continued, Lisa's medical protocols were adopted across the entire coalition. Military. Her portable bio-nanite fabricators could produce customized treatments for any species within minutes. Her universal antidotes could adapt to new biological weapons in real time, neutralizing Draxan attacks before they could cause mass casualties. But Lisa's greatest contribution to ending the war came from an unexpected source. While treating Draxan prisoners of war, she discovered something that changed everything. The Draxan species had a genetic condition that made them naturally more aggressive than other species. This condition had shaped their entire civilization, making them suspicious, hostile, and unable to cooperate with others. Lisa realized that their entire war was being driven by a medical problem that could be treated. "They're not evil," she explained to the Coalition military command. "They're sick. Their aggression is caused by a genetic imbalance that affects their brain chemistry. If we can treat this condition, we might be able to end the war without more fighting. The coalition leaders were skeptical. Dr. Grant, even if you're right, why would the Draxans accept treatment from us? They see us as enemies. Lisa's answer was simple but profound. Because we'll offer it freely with no conditions. We'll show them that medicine is about healing, not conquest. Working with Dr. Harrison and her alien colleagues, Lisa developed a treatment for the Draxon genetic condition. The approach required combining human genetic therapy techniques with alien neurology expertise, creating another hybrid solution that neither species could have developed alone. The breakthrough came when Lisa was allowed to treat a group of Draxan prisoners who had volunteered for the experimental therapy. Within weeks, their aggressive behavior decreased dramatically. They became curious about other species instead of hostile, cooperative instead of suspicious. When word of the successful treatment reached the Draxan homeworld, it created a crisis in their government. Military leaders who had built their careers on conflict found themselves facing the possibility that their entire worldview was based on a medical condition that could be cured. The war ended not through military victory, but through Lisa's medical diplomacy. She personally traveled to the Draxan capital to offer the treatment to their entire population, asking for nothing in return except an end to the fighting. The sight of a human doctor offering to heal their ancient condition touched something deep in the Draxan psyche. For the first time in their history, they saw cooperation as strength rather than weakness. Lisa was appointed as the first chief medical officer for the Coalition Allied Forces, a position created specifically for her. Her role was to ensure that medical considerations were always part of military decision-making, and that healing remained possible even in times of conflict. Standing in the Coalition medical headquarters, looking at reports of former Draxan, soldiers working alongside Coalition doctors to help other species, Lisa reflected on how much had changed. She had learned that medicine could be more powerful than weapons, that healing could succeed where violence failed. The war had tested everything she believed about medicine and humanity's role in the galaxy, but it had also proven that her approach was right, that sometimes the most advanced solution was to remember that everyone, even enemies, were patients who deserved care and healing. 5 years had passed since Lisa first stepped aboard an alien ship outside Chicago. Now she stood in the command center of the Galactic Medical Corps headquarters, watching dozens of rescue ships prepare for another emergency mission. The view screen showed the vast Andromeda sector, where a new crisis was unfolding. The Galactic Medical Corps had become Lisa's greatest achievement. The organization combined human adaptability with alien technology, creating rapid response teams that could reach any crisis within days. Medical stations across 47 star systems now taught the Lisa Grant protocol as standard training. Dr. Ben Clark, a human physicist who had become a doctor after seeing Lisa's work, approached with a worried expression. "Lisa, the reports from Andromeda are getting worse. This isn't like anything we've seen before." Lisa studied the incoming data with growing concern. The void plague, as scientists were calling it, was unlike every disease they had encountered. It affected not just biological creatures, but also artificial intelligences and even energy-based life forms that existed as pure thought. "How is that possible?" Lisa asked. "A plague that attacks matter, energy, and consciousness at the same time?" Ben pulled up holographic displays showing the affected regions. 3 entire star systems have gone dark. No communications, no energy signatures, nothing. It's like everything just stopped existing. Traditional medicine was completely useless against the void plague. Biological treatments had no effect on energy beings, and technological solutions couldn't help organic life forms. Every medical team that tried to study the plague reported the same thing. It was as if the fundamental forces that held reality together were breaking down. Lisa knew that this crisis would require her to think beyond everything she had learned. She called together the greatest medical minds from across the galaxy, both human and alien, to tackle what seemed like an impossible problem. The team included Dr. Alex Porter, who had become an expert in alien-human medical cooperation, Captain Zara, who now served as Director of Medical Fleet Operations, and Dr. Keth Morvain, whose Altarian biomedicine had been crucial in many previous breakthroughs. "We need to understand what we're really dealing with," Lisa said during their first meeting. "This plague doesn't just attack bodies or minds, it attacks the basic structures that make existence possible." Working with Ben, Lisa began developing what she called meta-medicine, treatment approaches that worked on the quantum level of reality itself. The concept was so advanced that even the most sophisticated alien medical systems had never considered it. The breakthrough came when Lisa realized that the void plague was actually attacking the quantum connections that held all organized matter and energy together. It was like a virus that infected the fabric of space-time itself, causing everything to lose coherence and fade into nothingness. "We can't fight this with normal medicine because it's not a normal disease," Lisa explained to the assembled medical teams. "We need to treat reality itself as a patient." The solution required combining knowledge from dozens of different fields. Human physics provided understanding of quantum mechanics, while alien technology offered tools that could manipulate quantum structures. Medical knowledge from multiple species helped them understand how different forms of life interacted with quantum reality. Lisa's team worked for weeks to develop the meta-medical treatment. They created quantum stabilizers that could restore the connections holding matter together, consciousness amplifiers that could strengthen the bonds maintaining energy-based life, and reality anchors that could prevent the breakdown of space-time itself. But the real challenge was deployment. The treatment had to be applied across entire star systems simultaneously, requiring coordination on a scale never before attempted. Lisa found herself managing medical operations across thousands of light years, directing teams she couldn't even communicate with in real time. The first test was in the Proxima system, where the void plague had just begun to take hold. Lisa personally led the mission, using a specially equipped medical ship that could survive in the unstable space near the plague zone. As they approached the affected area, Lisa watched her instruments detect something that should have been impossible. Regions of space where the normal laws of physics no longer applied. Stars flickered in and out of existence. Planets phased between solid and gaseous states, and even light seemed to bend in impossible directions. "Deploy the quantum stabilizers," Lisa ordered. "Begin meta-medical treatment across all affected coordinates." The treatment worked slowly at first. Gradually, the chaos began to settle as quantum connections were restored. Stars stopped flickering, planets solidified, and the strange distortions in space-time began to fade. Within hours, the Proxima system was stable again. More importantly, the treatment had created immunity to the void plague, preventing it from returning to areas that had been treated. The success in Proxima led to the largest medical operation in galactic history. Lisa coordinated teams across the entire Andromeda sector, treating 3 star systems simultaneously. The scale of the operation required every major civilization to contribute resources and expertise. For 72 hours, Lisa didn't sleep or rest, managing the complex meta-medical protocols from the command center. She watched as reality itself was healed, as entire worlds were brought back from the edge of non-existence. When the crisis was over, the galaxy had been fundamentally changed. The void plague was eliminated, but more importantly, galactic civilization had learned that even the most basic assumptions about reality could be wrong. Medicine had evolved beyond treating individuals to treating the universe itself. Lisa was offered the position of Galactic Medical Coordinator, overseeing healthcare for billions of beings across hundreds of worlds. She accepted the role not for the power it represented, but for the opportunity to continue learning and helping others. Her legacy became enshrined in the Galaxy Medical Charter, which established that all medical practitioners must train in adaptive medicine principles. The human approach became a required course in medical schools across dozens of civilizations. But perhaps Lisa's greatest achievement was the change in how different species viewed each other. Her work had proven that cooperation between different approaches to medicine could solve problems that no single civilization could handle alone. Years later, Lisa found herself back where her journey had started, teaching medicine to a new generation of doctors. But now her classroom was a space station orbiting Earth, and her students came from across the galaxy. Standing before a class that included humans, Altarians, crystalline entities, reformed Draxans, and species she had never seen before, Lisa felt a deep sense of satisfaction. She had started as a tired night shift doctor in Chicago, but she had become something more, a symbol of hope and proof that healing was possible even in the darkest times. Remember, she told her students, medicine isn't about having the most advanced technology or the oldest traditions. It's about never giving up on finding a way to help someone who needs healing. Her story had become legend throughout the galaxy, told in dozens of languages and understood by countless species. Dr. Lisa Grant had proven that sometimes the most primitive approach was exactly what advanced civilizations needed, and that the simple act of caring for others could change the universe itself. As she looked out at the stars from her classroom, Lisa smiled. There were still mysteries to solve, still patients to heal, and still new ways to bring different species together through medicine. Her greatest adventures might still be ahead of her, and she was ready for whatever the galaxy would bring next.